All right, we are live on air. It's
Live.
Phyllis and I tonight to get through 3 episodes since we are pushing to get to the end. Excuse how I look. I didn't get a chance to clean up after my walk. Woo,
Yeah,
woo.
had a good walk though.
Yeah, I thought I got 3 miles in tonight, so
Good. You're
I was
there.
proud of myself. So,
Good.
um, so we're doing Lallybroch, The Watch, and The Search
Hmm.
tonight, and I rewatched these again over the weekend because I had nothing all weekend at work.
Mm,
I take it back. I had one OB check one night.
that's funny.
So
And
yeah, 12 hours of
I was born on Easter Sunday, so I think that's funny. Not this Easter Sunday, but the year I was born, it was Easter Sunday.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I had to work. I had to work 4 nights in a row. So I've been working since Thursday night. So I missed Easter with the family because I had to sleep when I got home.
Hmm.
So anyway,
Anyway.
starting with Lallybroch tonight. This is Jamie and Claire. Jamie going home again
Hmm.
after the big confrontation after Devil's Mark and her making her choice on Pregnant Dunn and deciding to stay with Jamie. And again, I had a couple of just emotional issues with some choices they made last episode. So this episode, I love the way it opened. I love that overhead soaring shot showing them on the horse and
Hmm.
just talking. I mean, I wish we had more time to get more of the talking
Right.
between the two of them.
Yeah.
So, but I do have to say, I loved the choices they made with the little flashbacks when they got close and he was having the little flashbacks to the last time he was at Lallybroch with
Uh-huh.
Blackjack and Jenny. And
Right there on the dooryard or the at the gate there.
yeah, I mean, and I love the choices they made there to do them just very brief, literal flashes of memory rather than doing these whole big long flashback scenes.
Hmm.
I always think that's a little more effective because it gives you that sense of being out of time,
Hmm.
rather than the full flashback. There's a flashback scene with Jamie and Brian at Fort William later on,
Hmm.
and then with Blackjack that and I agree with a lot of people that works less for me,
Yeah.
less well for me than these first little flashbacks where
Okay.
we just get, like I said, these brief little flashes and the desaturation of the colors in the
Hmm.
flashbacks, except for the red. I
Hmm.
mean, I noticed that the first time I watched it was that the only true vibrant color in any of those flashbacks was the red of the Redcoats uniforms,
Right.
the red on Blackjack's, vest,
Yeah.
whatever thing, and then Jamie's blood
Right. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
on his hands, on Blackjack's hands, and then when he takes Jenny inside, I noticed it seemed like suddenly as he was doing the whole finger in the mouth thing,
Yeah.
that disgusted me. I mean, to me,
Most people, I think.
it felt like such a violation. So, I
Yeah.
mean, we're jumping way ahead,
Yeah. But still.
but that's, I was just, ugh.
Yeah, the red was quite intense. They did keep that color
Yeah,
above everything else.
yeah. And I have to say, the first time I watched this, the introduction to Jenny, I did not like Jenny.
Oh, I didn't either. I did not like how they had portrayed her. I thought no, I don't like her.
She just, she just came off bitchy.
Right,
You
right.
know, it was the way I felt about Claire, only more intense.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't wild about the way that Claire was being portrayed at the beginning of the season, or the way she was being played
Uh-huh.
at the beginning of the season. She just seemed strident and
Yeah,
bitchy and bitchy.
right.
Well, Jenny even more so. Jenny on steroids, bitchy on steroids.
Yeah, and I don't think that as far as the dialogue and the motivation, I don't think that they derived too far from the book, but yeah, I did not care for her at all to where I had no sympathy for her. Like, well, you deserve to just be sitting here with supposedly somebody's baby. I don't know. I mean, before knowing what the story is, I didn't care for her. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, and maybe because we didn't have I don't know. I didn't feel
Mm.
the family connection between she and Jamie
Mm.
before she had the attitude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and maybe if we had had a little bit of that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
So it was, they gave us her, you know, Blackjack, her kind of confrontation with Blackjack, she and Jamie's confrontation with Blackjack, and that's all we'd had of her before we get her just being flat out, oh.
You know, and that might be part of it too, is that when we first do see Jenny at the very beginning of the show, when she's being abused by Blackjack, she seems very, she's not pushy, she's not grouchy, she's just not, she's not bitchy. She just kind of is meek, or if not meek, she's just kind of there. I mean, she's there for him to move, you know, strip back and taunt Jamie with her, but she does. You don't really get her personality at all because she doesn't make any kind of moves or statements or anything until we get this interaction between her and Jamie. And yeah, that's going wow. And I was all sympathetic for this poor girl, you know, being abused in her out in front of her house by the Redcoats back in the beginning of the show, and now she's a little witch.
Yeah, I don't know. It took me a very, very long time to warm up to her.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was even maybe into the middle of the watch before I even liked her at all. So I don't know. And some people just go on and on about, oh, how Laura Donnelly's so good. Jenny is so amazing. And I'm like, Jenny's a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, this is not, I don't remember having this kind of a reaction to Jenny in the book.
Yeah, no.
But I had a definite, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, reaction to her. So that was my,
yeah,
kind of, I don't know. And maybe if I hadn't been a book reader, I'd have been different.
Maybe, yeah. But I don't know. I'm with you. So I didn't care for her through most of this episode, this whole Lallybroch episode. She was, and it's not, like I said, it's not like they really veered far from the book. There were confrontations between her and Claire about the house and, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't know, it just was softened because it was in Claire's voice, I guess, in the book.
Maybe. And maybe it was because we were seeing Jenny through another woman's eyes.
Yeah, maybe.
Although you would think it's because it's two women who love the same man. I mean, not in the same way, obviously, but
he's important to both of them. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was just whatever. Jenny, not my favorite.
Yeah, not in this episode.
No. And then we get Ian. Poor clumping around on that poor wooden leg.
Yeah. Wasn't how I figured it was going to look.
No.
Yeah, because I didn't expect the handle part, you know, where he's holding on to a handle. I thought it would just be like a pirate wooden leg, you know, where the pirates just have a wooden leg, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, you would think about it. When you think about it, how do they keep that on? Because it's not like they have it's not like they have a silicone sleeve to be able to put the stump in to keep it, you know.
No, I think she describes it in the book. It's like leather, I think it's made of, or some kind of material, and it's padded with the sheep's wool, and I think she does describe it in the book. It gets described at some point because he loses it and they have to build him a new one. So
yeah, I mean the little handle actually makes sense to me from a pragmatic standpoint.
Yeah.
For that time.
Yeah.
You know, knowing what we know about prostheses now, the way they fit and mold to the stump and what they would have been trying to, the materials they were trying to use at that time to keep it, you know, so they didn't just walk right off of it.
Right. I'm sure it's leather and it's probably got some setup to tie it to your leg or something. So yeah, it was just kind of what I expected. So when I saw that, I was like, I don't know, that's kind of weird. But you know, I can't say that they're probably right. I mean, I'm sure they did enough research that it's probably correct for the time. It just wasn't what I expected. Too many pirate movies.
Yeah.
Too many pirate movies.
So, and then, I mean, we get the scenes between Jenny and Claire and Ian and Jamie, and then we get that whole flashback when Jamie insists on being told what happened.
Right.
And that's when we get the whole I don't know, blackjack and the finger, and it was just
Yeah.
like, oh. And we got way too much of blackjack.
Yeah.
I
It
was
was
like,
it was a repulsive scene, but I think that they made the point. I mean, we got the point that it was repulsive. It was
yeah,
probably very frightening for Jenny. Obviously, it was, and it was just a gross scene. And he's a sick man, and that kind of
yeah,
drove that home some more. So,
yeah. I just don't need to see that much of blackjack, you know.
oh, you know, cable.
Yeah, and they swear they didn't do it just because they could,
Hmm.
which sometimes it feels like they do. Sometimes they make those choices, like, well, we're cable, we can do whatever the hell we want to.
What? Well, yeah.
So, because yeah, in this whole back half, we got to see way too much of Tobias Menzies in more ways than one.
He was quite willing to show it. So,
but then we did get some. I mean, we got some nice scenes between Jamie and Claire in this one. This was probably the best episode for relationship building.
right.
You know, for showing us the relationship between the two to make us believe that she actually chose to stay with Jamie because she actually did love him and wanted to be with him instead. Because, like I said, I had issues with missing so much of that in the first half of the series.
To why she would pick him.
Yeah, and then why that payoff just seemed, I don't know, I wasn't as emotionally invested in it in the show as I was in the book. It was just, I don't know. But I love that. Although when I watched it the first time, for some reason, I was not expecting that house to have that much wallpaper.
I didn't expect that house at all. That was the kitchen. I could see like the little bits of it, like the kitchen. But yeah, the to me the ceilings were too high, and there was
the wallpaper. To me it felt Victorian, but that's just me.
It also, because it's not like drapery. I mean, I could see draperies for warmth, you know, the wall hangings that are meant for warmth. But yeah, no, that was really strange. I thought it would be paneled. In fact, isn't it described as, I know in the front it's supposed to be paneled. So yeah, I thought there was too much. The wall, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And I just love that central fireplace where the staircase wraps around the back of it. I thought, I can't even imagine that even would be something anybody would have done, that open fireplace. It was beautiful.
Well, except the fireplace would have been for heat. I mean, that would have been the whole.
But just the way it was positioned in the room and stuff, I thought, wow, that's kind of modern. That's kind of more a modern look, I thought.
Well, Jamie does say that Brian built that house, which I'm looking at it going, that house was built in like the 1600s.
Yeah.
I mean, the stone looked too old to me to have been built by Brian Fraser. Well,
yeah, it looked old because we're seeing it from today. You know, I mean, the building they're using is still standing there, and I know where it is. I saw it on Google Maps, and it's on private property, but there's pictures of people that actually walk up to it and take pictures, and it is an empty building on another estate somewhere in Scotland.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that they were trying to convince us that Brian McKenzie built that house.
Yeah, by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have built it any before. What, Jamie's supposed to be 23?
Yeah.
Couldn't have built it any before like 17, 18, 17, 20.
Yeah, I think it doesn't. Lintel should say, or it did in the book. It said like 17, 16 or something. It says that in the book. When the house was built.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to convince me that.
Yeah.
That house is 30 years old.
Yeah, as opposed to being. Yeah, it should have looked newer.
Yeah, that's what
in the design. It should have looked newer. You know. Yeah. Not like it's been sitting there for 100 years. So.
Yeah, I mean it actually but comparing it to Leoch, it did seem like a much more modern house and living place, because Leoch definitely feels more ancient.
Right.
You know, everything inside is stone. The walls are stone. The floor is stone.
Right.
You know, the fireplace hearths those are big things to try and keep the places warm. Yeah. And this did feel much more contemporary for the time, you know.
Yes, it did. It did. Yeah, it looked like it had wooden floors and
the
windows and all that. So a lot more windows. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't.
And
Definitely.
maybe it's because of the fact that I'm looking at the outside and the inside doesn't match the outside to me.
Yeah. Like,
So,
I
but
don't know.
that's a small complaint. I mean, it
Yeah.
didn't really take me out of it big time. But like I said, just the first time I saw the wallpaper or whatever, the walls in the
Yeah.
master bedroom.
Yeah. The blues.
Yeah, the blues. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gorgeous, but like I said, not what I was expecting to see when they walked in there.
The dining room is in reds, kind of similar.
Yeah.
We call them reds. It's very impressive, but yeah, it really was more than I expected to. I expected it to be more cozy, more homey,
Yeah,
big.
it almost seemed too fancy for the level that they were supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
But again, I haven't researched architecture and stuff of that time.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know. Whatever. Um,
Yeah.
So I mean, we get Jamie and Claire, and we get the whole quarter day thing. And Jamie, I love that coat.
Oh yeah, that leather coat.
That leather coat.
Yeah.
So, and they made the big thing about Claire getting her vase. She finally got her vase. The very first episode when she's looking at the vase in the window, and one of the tenants brings her a vase full of flowers, and they're like, "Claire got her vase. Claire got her vase." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
So she must be home.
Yeah, she finally got the whole. She did, and that is a big thing. Claire finding her place.
Yeah.
Finding her place, finding where she actually belongs, and
right.
That's the whole thing. It's a huge theme in the book. It doesn't seem.
I don't think they really emphasize it like they did in the book, though, about how she really did find her place, and they kind of shared the running of the farm, of Lallybroch, of the tenants and everything. And
well, I think because they got to spend a week, is what it felt like at the most.
Yeah, and I know in the book it was much longer than that.
Yeah,
so, yeah, feels like they weren't there very long.
Yeah, the whole timeline is so compressed that it's hard to get a sense.
Yeah.
Of establishing her place, and feeling like, I mean, when she talks about, I feel like I'm finally starting to belong here, and I'm like,
been there 2 days.
You've been there 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days. How do you belong after 2 days?
Yeah. So, yes.
So, but this, like I said, this episode it did feel like drawing a breath in the middle of, what we'd been through with the Devil's Mark and the witch trial and escaping that, and then knowing what's coming.
Yeah.
This did feel like being able to take a deep breath for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we get what? Jamie and the drunk, and I'm not sure
funny though.
It was funny, but
yeah,
to me they changed the way Jamie handled things so much from what I was used to in the book.
Yeah, maybe, but they tie it up at the other end of it. So, with her telling him off about it. So.
Yeah, but again, they've made Claire super Claire. To me, there are times when I feel like they've turned her into a super heroine.
Huh.
She's the smartest person in that whole group. She can figure out how to solve the problems. And I just felt like she was talking to him like she was his mother.
Well, I think she felt that he needed to be scolded because he was acting ridiculous. And was that Ian that put her off on that, right? He sent her off that about being...
Kick them. You got to kick them, and if they don't respond, you kick them harder.
So finally just decided to say, I need to get him back to being on track, or whatever. That's kind of what I thought it was.
Yeah.
That she kind of saw that he needed to be brought around. And maybe that was kind of Ian's also prodding that he needs to be brought around, because Ian couldn't say nothing. Or he wouldn't, it wouldn't have come well from him. So
yeah, like I said, they made the decision to make him stumble when he came home, whereas where I felt like in the book, he slotted into his role
a little better,
much better, like he had been, because he had been prepared for it up until the age of 18, because his father had been training him to take over.
Yeah,
he fostered with Dougal. He'd been to university. He was, he had seen all this, so I just felt like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But some decisions they made in the TV show, I had issue with, because I always feel like it's the decisions they make some of the decisions they've made have been made at Jamie's expense, Jamie's character's expense.
Huh, okay.
Because I don't remember him stumbling this badly in the book.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't at all. So,
and they did, and then, like I said, there's just some things, and I feel like they're doing the same thing from the scenes I've seen for next season, or for this coming season. That, it's Claire who's the smart one. Claire's the one who comes up with the plan. Claire's pushing Jamie. Claire's doing this. And there are times that I'm just like, oh my God, she's not the most perfect woman on TV these days.
Yeah. Well,
so her whole strength comes from being, a lot of her strength comes from being part of a team.
Right, right.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
And I guess I just need to stop thinking about the book and that character because they have changed it so much for the TV show. Yeah. But they haven't changed it so much that I can't sit and watch it. I mean, I got to the point where I couldn't watch True Blood anymore because I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, what happened to your
character? So stupid.
Huh.
I mean, it just got True Blood just got stupid.
Huh. I've never watched them. They're on Amazon. I'll have to.
Yeah, but I had read all the Sookie Stackhouse books, and so I was coming from
that's hard
the book part of it, and they just made so many huge changes that once they got to the first couple of seasons were pretty much on the books, and then they started making choices that I just felt were ridiculous choices. They trivialized stuff, and they made the plots stupid. Just like, what? What? This doesn't even make sense.
Wow.
So anyway, they've not done that to Outlander. So for that, I am grateful.
They're following the line of the story pretty good. So.
Yeah. But anyway, we do get the whole. Although we do get the water wheel and we get Jamie underneath thing. And I did miss Granny McNabb because that's one of my favorite scenes is Claire talking to Granny McNabb in the book.
Right, because she kind of lines her up too and tells her, she kind of sees what Claire is that she knows her herbs and her plants and stuff. So
yeah,
she kind of gets the seal of approval basically from a matriarch in their community there.
Yeah,
for the most.
Well, and they end up. She's the one who ends up talking about her son being a wastrel and a do-nothing and
a drunk,
yeah.
But it was good that they used that water wheel. That was a good way to reveal Jamie's scars to Jenny. That was clever. That was
because they needed some way to turn Jenny.
Right. She needed to come to grips with what happened to her brother too.
Yeah, I mean, they needed a way to turn her so that we had more sympathy with her, so that she became more of a sympathetic character.
And that's where she did too. When she was walking at the grave, and it's like, okay, I'm getting it now. Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, I did like that scene, and it's a nice example of the fact that not all redcoats or British soldiers were bad guys.
No.
Because when they stopped, he was truly there to help.
Yeah,
he's going to see if he could fix their wheel and get their mill working again,
But that would have benefited them too, because they probably do get grain from the farm or something. I mean, they want to make sure that all works. So, I mean, I'm not excusing them, but it is funny about the shirt and how did that get in there? Oh, it's Scotland.
It's Scotland, sir. Yeah, that was fun.
Okay.
Because that line just explains everything,
That's funny.
And then we do that. That is a very nice scene at the graveyard, at the cemetery, between Jenny and
Jamie.
Yeah. And Jamie, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we get that nice scene at the end, but that's where we get the scene between Jamie and Claire. I think that's where she says she's starting to feel like she fits in here. And then we get the first voiced declaration of love.
Right. Right.
And it coming from Jamie, and then we finally get Claire saying "I love you" to Jamie, which we hadn't up to this point.
Right.
At all. And I didn't like the fact that we didn't see Jamie's face when she said that.
Yeah.
all we got was this side view and this kind of smile. You could see him smiling, but that would have been a big thing for me. So I would have liked to have seen his actual reaction when she said that. But and then I hated this cliffhanger at the end. I was just kind of like, because it was such a
who are those guys?
Well, the fact that you get this cliffhanger and then it opens in the same place and it takes 30 seconds to resolve it. You know, so it's not like, I don't know, it's just kind of like, oh, really?
Well, clearly they wanted to show that.
Because they're so focused on leaving it so that people will tune in next week to find out what happens. It's so episodic TV, so network TV-ish.
Well, but I think if you think of pretty much everything is done that way. I mean, television, everything's left at
It doesn't have to be, though. I mean, to me, it's such a cheap device.
I guess I'm just used to it. I mean, they ended Walking Dead last week with a bunch of people tied up. Like, what happens next, you know? So that's what I mean. I guess it's just what I watch, because I didn't think anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not overly thrilled with
some of
that kind of. And maybe if it had been a true cliffhanger, you know, if it had been a true Dire Straits cliffhanger where there was going to be a big change when the resolve was revealed. But there was no change.
No.
You know.
Just explained who those guys were that were in the house holding the gun on Jamie.
Yeah. I mean, now the next episode, when we can move into the watch, there was nothing in this episode from the book.
Nothing?
I don't.
No, maybe I'm trying to think of conversations, maybe, but maybe not. I'm clicking through it, click, click, click. I mean, in my brain, not even conversations. I don't know. Oh yeah, there was, because they're all taken out of context from the book, but there's Jenny having the baby, and that was that whole spiel about what it feels like to be pregnant. So her and Claire having that conversation, that was from the book, although not the way it was done in the book.
No.
So if that's what you mean, yeah, maybe not.
The whole watch plot line, completely different.
Yeah, it was something else.
And not even, I mean, all new material as far as how they were using the watch, because the watch was just referred to in the book. I mean, they were just the boogeyman.
And they showed that too. They showed that little scene at the very beginning of this episode of the watch when they were out on rent, when she was out with Dougal.
To remind us of what she's used to the watch being.
And
the fact that Jamie was hiding from them because they would turn him in.
Right. So, yeah, this was all new characters, new motivations. It's got us to the same place it had to get us, but yeah.
Yeah, but I have to say, for somebody who's such a purist, I actually enjoyed this episode.
Oh, I did too.
I mean, I liked Taryn McQuarrie. I liked that character. I wasn't wild about bringing Horrocks back. Because every time I saw him, I just thought to myself, oh, it's Robin Williams from The Fisher King. Or Robin Williams from Good Will Hunting. That's what he reminded me of.
He looks like an ex-boyfriend of mine, so there you go.
Really?
I'm like, dang, that guy looks like Scott. I'm not happy with this. I don't like this guy. No.
Yeah, so anyway, that was my only real complaint about that, bringing in Horrocks and having that be part of the plot device in there. But I did like.
Yeah,
I'm not sure they needed it.
Well, you had to show him as a duplicitous character where he's going to even sell out his comrades. Basically, he's not a reputable character anyway, and it just kind of closed it out. I mean, I know that
you didn't. The book never closed out Horrocks. He was.
Oh no, they didn't. But for dramatic purposes, they kind of.
I guess, but I can't imagine. I don't know. I just could not imagine, because he's a British deserter.
Yeah, and he's Irish on top of that.
And he's Irish on top of that.
What is he doing here? He's Irish, but there were Irish Jacobites, but still.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of like, why would they trust him? because he's already.
Well, they're all outlaws.
I know. I don't know.
And even Taryn yeah. Anyway, he even said, yeah, McQuarrie. He even says to Jamie, I really would rather have a Highlander that knows how to, not just a jerk like the rest of these guys. You're somebody with some skills and everything else. So, pretty much the band was already a bunch of ne'er-do-wells. And
yeah, well, McQuarrie was basically a mercenary.
Yeah, he was a mercenary, and then he just swooped up. He's collected up these people that have nothing else.
Yeah,
and that really are.
But yeah, I mean, I liked Jamie's interaction with Ian during this one. Although Ian came off pretty. I don't know. Sometimes he came off kind of weak and almost like collaborator-ish.
You
know.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole fact that he was so proud to bring McQuarrie back his sword that he'd had reworked, and so there were some things that they did with Ian that I understand his choices, Ian's choices from a character's standpoint as far as where he was in having to try and keep Lallybroch protected and safe.
Right. Yeah, and he kind of explains that too. That's why he did it. Not his first choice, but it was a rock and a hard place kind of thing.
Yeah. So I mean, there were some things that I was just But because of the fact that I did like McQuarrie, I didn't have a huge problem with him because it's not like I felt like Ian wanted to be friends with McQuarrie, but not the Watch.
Right. Yeah.
He could separate McQuarrie from the Watch.
Right, from those guys. Yeah.
Because he did. I mean, McQuarrie did have a sense. I think he did have a sense of honor.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great one.
Well, yeah.
Because he did operate by his own code.
Right.
But his sense of honor as far as being against the British.
Right.
And the fact that he stated he would never, ever turn
Jamie in for that.
Yeah, he'd never turn Jamie over to the British. He'd shoot him first.
Yeah. But see, now with the other guys, that's the thing, is if the other...
Yeah, no, I know. That's why you've got to have you got to have a very strong leader who can keep control of those men.
Right.
So, I mean, there were some great... Jenny going into labor, and I had a really hard time with Claire having all this knowledge, a combat nurse having all this obstetrical knowledge.
Right. Yeah, because I'm not sure what the history is on nursing as far as to World War II. What kind of training do you get? I'm sure you get some training, but you probably don't get the kind that nurses get today. Just to go in to be a combat nurse, because she wasn't before then.
Yeah, that's what I'm not sure what kind, but
her career.
I don't know, but yeah, there's some things they just did that the choices they made, because once your water's broken, you can't turn a child. You don't try and rotate a breech baby once water's broken.
So, but then she's also working with 1940s knowledge, so she may not even have known that even then. So, yeah, that is.
And that version that she was trying to do hurts like hell.
Oh.
Jenny laying there all nice and calm and talking to her.
Yeah, no
the
way.
whole time she's doing it. No frickin' way. I've seen doctors give our patients epidurals before they try and do a version.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's no way she would have been that calm, cool, and collected when she was trying to turn that baby. Give me a freaking break.
Well, they were taking license with the knowledge.
Yeah, well, like I said, those of us who do OB have a very hard time with any show or any TV show or movie that's...
When they go into that.
Yeah, just kind of like, oh my God, please. And these, 3-month-old babies that they bring up and say, here's your brand newborn baby. I'm like, yeah, huh.
Yeah, right. They're supposed to be purple.
Well, those babies are always too big.
Yeah, well.
They're perfect round heads, and they're open eyes, and they're not swollen at all, and they just have a little jelly here and there. And I'm like, babies come out nasty and bloody and covered in goo.
Yep, I've only seen one.
Yeah.
My best friend had twins. So yeah, I was like, yeah, it's enough. Her husband's like, oh, it's not too late for you. I go, oh yeah, it was too late for me a long time ago.
Yeah. So yeah, I have issues with some of that stuff, but
Yeah.
the things about, I mean, the other stuff as far as the walking and the wanting to crawl on the floor and all that stuff did seem very.
I was going to ask you about that, if that's like something that would be done, the crawling and on your hands and knees and stuff. I mean, is that, I'm guessing it must be. I don't know.
Well, weren't using it as a labor device. They were using it as what her body is telling her to do.
Right.
Which is she can't stand anymore because of the fact that, that hurts too much. But being down on your hands, you do want to crouch, you do want to squat.
Yeah. Comfortable. And
it's basically your body is telling you to get into this. So because labor is a very natural process and has been for, millennia.
Yeah. Forever.
And that's your body is telling you how to get in the best position to try and get that thing out of you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, being down on the floor on hands and knees, being in bed is a very modern time Western, concept.
Yeah.
Western medicine concept.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's because there are actual birthing chairs that they used where they actually sat in chairs. They didn't lay in a bed and giving birth, sit on your hands and knees. Yeah, I've actually done that with people.
Yeah. That would make sense though.
So yeah, because actually hands and knees opens the pelvis up more, especially if you've got a baby who's not positioned perfectly, because it changes that position and tilts the pelvis. And
wow, so there you go.
So yeah, I had no issues with that. It was just there at the beginning, her water's broken, there's very little fluid left in there, and they're trying to turn a baby, and Jenny's talking, normally while she's trying to turn that baby. I was just kind of like, yeah, no.
Giving Claire advice on how she can get pregnant.
Well, that's from the book.
Yeah,
and that was actually Granny McNabb who was telling her in the book,
Book about the raspberry leaves.
Yeah. Oh. So, but the fact that they, suddenly again, Claire is Claire's super nurse, Claire's superhero heroine because of the midwife not being able to come, because the midwife came in the book.
Yeah. Did she? Yeah, she did. That's right.
Yes, she did.
They were both there. They were both in the room. Right.
Yes. So, yeah.
Yeah. They wanted to make it look like, that Claire handled it. So.
Again, making her super Claire.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there are some decisions they make, and I'm just kind of like, she doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be this perfect heroine there who can handle any situation, except that she can't keep her big mouth shut in certain situations. But
right.
I don't know. That, like I said, I've had issues with a couple of decisions they've made.
Uh-huh.
So, then we get the boys going off to raid the Chisholms, and I don't know why were they raiding the Chisholms?
It was a rent party. They were a rent party, so they were going to raid them for their haul.
All right.
And that was the story.
I don't know. I just can't believe the watch, unless the Chisholms just weren't paying up like they were supposed to.
Yeah, just randomly picking a family unit or a clan to go.
Well, raid. Yeah, it's like basically they were planning a train robbery.
Right.
We know the train's going to be here at this time. Let's go rob the train.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the one with the payroll on it.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. That it felt like the great train robbery plan to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
where did they find these places though? That little gully that they were in with the bridge going over. It's like, where do they find all these little places in Scotland?
Oh, I know. The people who are doing the location scouting are.
And I would add that to the first of these 3 episodes where they've got those long shots across the hills, and there's nothing in the view. There's not a freaking car. I mean, I don't know how much they CGI'd stuff, but it's amazing how
no electrical lines.
Yeah, nothing.
No roads.
Yeah, no roads, and it's like maybe they're there or maybe they're not, but my God.
It was like all the shots in New Zealand from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's New Zealand looked like untouched, pristine.
Yeah.
It looked like it could be, a fantasy land.
Yeah, and I think Scotland, there's places like that there. It's just, I just thought it was interesting.
There's places like that in the U.S. There's some forest areas that, feel and look untouched when you get into probably like West Virginia and the East Coast and
the Midwest or the West too. I mean, I have, yeah, I would say yes. You're right. There's places in California that look like, my God, nobody lives there.
yeah.
Hard to believe. And of course,
And I'm sure there's places in like Montana that you can see forever and not see anything.
There is. I've been at Wyoming and Montana. You can drive for miles and miles on hard pavement and never see a car. But I can say that about north of Scotland too. The very north, you go up to John O'Groats way at the top. I think I drove quite a few miles without having another car on the road, and that was
really
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go up there, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, I know we all marvel at it, but the scenery, just the cinematography in this show is unbelievable, because it's just, every shot is gorgeous.
Yes.
You know,
they do.
The way it's composed, the locations, it's just
fields. Yeah, just all of it is just gorgeous what they do.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we get that, the redcoats and the ambush and the whole, and then when they cut back to Jenny and the baby, they were so trying to make us think that, and I was thinking to myself, they are not killing Jenny off. They can't kill Jenny off. That's way too big a thing. Yeah. They showed her laying there with the blood and Claire holding the baby and Jenny not moving. And it was just kind of like, for a little bit I thought, well, maybe they are, because, you know, they've done some stuff, from what I hear, they've done some stuff with Game of Thrones that they're just kind of like, what?
Oh, wow. So, I can't see. I think Ron knows how everybody was mutiny.
Yeah, well, and that, to me, that brief flash that I had of it, I was like, there's no way.
No.
There's way too much Jenny to come in this series. They can't do that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, you know, we get Ian being brought back by, and again, we get that kind of fake out where we see the men walking and we're supposed to think maybe it is Jamie who's helping him back. And then we get the, you know, him lifting his head and coming into the light and finding out it's
one of those guys.
Yeah. One of the band.
One of the the gang there.
So, and that's, you know, Claire realizing that Jamie was gone. And I do have to say, I love that final scene between Claire and Jamie when he took his leave.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful shots, beautiful composition, the way it was lit.
Yeah, the way they have. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, and I try not to go that route, but I think, you know, this guy's looking really good this part of the show.
Yeah. Well, I think to me, it was kind of a choice to show us that this is where he belongs.
Right. That he's
this is where he fits.
Right.
But it's not the only place he fits.
Right.
You know, as we'll find out later on.
Yeah, but still, yeah, you're right, because even if you compare it to him, even with the Leoc party, you know, the rent party, you know, he was just part of the crew. You know, he wasn't in charge. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't even a consultant. I mean, it's not like they asked for his advice or anything.
He was muscle.
Yeah, he was part of the group that was
one of the guys
stuff up. And then the only time you get a hint of it is when they go back to Leoc, and he kind of gives Colin the idea to, you know, how to work it out with Dougal and you know.
Yeah.
And so then you get your hint that Jamie's a little bit more than just, you know,
just a stable hand.
Yeah, just a stable hand, or just one of the gang kind of thing. So
yeah.
Well, then this kind of cements it, because once he finally gets his feet under him, you know, he knows, you know, he knows how to behave. And when he does actually take the chance and sit there and admit to McQuarrie who he is and what he's worth, and looks him straight in the face and says, you know, what are you going to do?
He doesn't admit who he is. He basically says, I killed.
Yeah, I'm wanted, and there's a price on my head, and all that. Yeah, that's what I mean. I guess I say, but looked right at him like, okay, so your move, and what are you going to do? You know,
well, I think he had already taken stock and judged the man to be one who would not.
Yeah.
you know, of his ilk, because the fact that he had been a soldier in France and fought and had that soldier's, you know.
And he is a leader too, because he's the one who broke up the brawl with the fire and the hay.
Yeah, and wasn't this after he had paid them for the hay that had been destroyed?
Yeah, he paid them for the hay, and because he knew what they cost that family. You know, his men had cost that family.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a man of honor. Yes. So yeah, I don't know, but I just thought, I thought that was an interesting play when they did that at the table, where Jamie admit he killed
well, except he didn't kill Horrocks.
Well, yeah, but he
actually Ian, but he was, you know, protecting Ian.
He just made it sound like it was just between him and Horrocks. So
yeah,
you know, and he buried him, and that was it. You know, what are you going to do? I'm wanted. What are you going to do?
Huh. So yeah, we get that scene at the end, knowing that Jamie's out there and that he was taken by the British, and he and Macquarie, he wouldn't leave Macquarie. The reason he was taken is because he wouldn't leave Macquarie behind.
Right.
You know, he was taken because of being an honorable.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Sorry, my dogs are yipping back here, so.
Yeah.
So then we move into the search.
Now you watched it again.
I did watch it again.
And since you know how it all plays out, did you see it any differently other than?
I saw there were some parts that I really did like. I mean, there are some great parts of the search.
Okay.
The search part of the search is too damn long.
Yeah.
They spend too much time running back and forth.
And I will agree with you there, because I did pull out the book, and I think they're only out there about a week or so.
And the whole gypsy thing, I'm like,
I thought that
was a waste of time.
But it kind of showed to me. This was I guess we should wait, and we should talk about Jenny and Claire out there killing.
Yeah, Jenny and Claire. This is basically, I love the fact they put Jenny and Claire together.
Right.
Jenny riding a horse, straddling a horse.
2 days or 3 days after.
3 days after having given a birth to a breech baby.
Right. Right.
I'm like, oh my God, you go, girl.
Yeah, I read something online, and they said it's not that she couldn't have done it, but she wouldn't have been real comfortable doing it.
She wouldn't have wanted to do it. That's for damn sure.
Wouldn't have been a choice, not made of desperate.
No.
But I think it was a good bonding for the two of them. I think that whole thing showed them bonding and really
they were working towards the same goal.
Right, and getting a sense of each other and the true personalities. I think that really helped, and it definitely changed my opinion of Jenny. The way they're characterizing her, I thought, okay, finally, we're getting to the Jenny that, you know, we like from the book.
Yeah, well, and the Jenny who is willing to do anything for her family.
Right, including kill. And
yeah, she would go to the mat and do whatever it takes to protect what is hers.
And you see Claire get put in that position because she's never been there before.
And Claire begging this guy to tell them what they want so that Jenny will stop torturing him.
Yeah, and they're ready to fix him, then to patch him up.
Yeah,
fix his burns and everything.
So yeah, and I don't know. So many people made such a big deal about the whole expressing milk scene, and I don't know why. And maybe it's because of the area I'm in.
Yeah.
That I was just kind of like, oh, okay. Is that a big deal?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess he didn't want to know. Well, even just like Claire didn't know it did that.
Yeah, well, and that there was the thing about how I think Canadian TV actually cut that scene.
Really? Wow.
There was a big hullabaloo because they cut that scene out the first time it aired, and then came back after the big, huge ruckus was raised and said, oh, no, that was an accident. We didn't do it on purpose. Uh-huh.
Please, that's what they're for.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. People were all up in arms about seeing breasts being used for their actual
purpose. Yeah.
Purpose.
For what they're there for. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. you know, we can show them all over the place in a sex scene, but
Right.
let somebody actually have them leaking milk or having to express milk or putting a baby to their breast to feed a baby. And
in the future, aren't they?
I'm like, holy crap, people.
Stuff, yeah, really, for their actual purpose, and how uncomfortable a woman who has just given birth would be.
Well, engorgement, you know, being, because that, it hurts like hell. I mean, I've had moms just be in agony.
Right, right. If they're not going to breastfeed, yeah.
Yeah, well, and I mean, working with nurses who are still nursing their babies that have to, you know, they're taking breaks during a 12-hour shift to pump at least twice.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I
At
worked
least twice in 12 hours because it's like, oh my God, I got to pump.
I worked with women like that too, and we're talking in manufacturing. The girl would have to, a couple of my friends, they'd have to sneak off to the ladies' room and pump. So because they had left their kid at home, they'd had their 6 weeks off or whatever they get for child thing back in the time. So yeah,
we did. I mean, we saw Jenny and Claire working together, and
yeah,
you know, and then fighting over whether or not what they're going to do with this British soldier that they've corralled, and then just hearing that death rattle from him, and then looking over and realizing that Murtaugh has appeared out of nowhere.
Right. To slit the guy's throat.
And where did Murtaugh come from? I mean, he had disappeared.
Yeah, they never mentioned him. They never mentioned him at all.
Yeah. He didn't even make the trip with them from Leoch. Because Murtaugh disappeared.
He didn't even go with Jamie with Dougal, right? Well, they don't. Are we to imply that he went with Jamie or not?
I don't remember.
I'm talking about the show. I mean, in the book, he's with Jamie, but that's a whole different thing because Jamie's off, out hunting.
Yeah.
And they explain it in the book that Murtaugh had a slower horse. And so Jamie had Donis, and that's why he and Claire made it back to Lallybroch, but Murtaugh was following them. So in the book, but now in the show.
Because in the book, it was Murtaugh who went and got Jamie.
Oh, I thought he was out with Jamie.
I think Jamie may have left Murtaugh behind to keep an eye on Claire, didn't he?
Oh, maybe.
When he was out with the hunting party?
Yeah, and he went just by himself. Okay, but here, they never say.
But yeah,
where was he?
Murtaugh disappeared back in.
When Jamie talked to Colum. That was the last time we saw Murtaugh. Jamie talked to Colum.
Well, by the pricking of my thumbs, we saw Murtaugh.
Was he there when Jamie left with Dougal? Was he in that scene?
I don't remember.
We're going to have to watch that again.
I'll have to go back because I'm trying to figure out where the hell Murtaugh came from.
Yeah. But he does say that...
because, yes, in the book, he was there with them. He showed up at Lallybroch.
In the book, he's already at Lallybroch.
But then he also disappears from the book. At Lallybroch. We get the scene of he and Jenny in the kitchen when he's eating.
Right, and then he was going off to visit family or something.
Because he just kind of disappears off into the...
Right, but I don't think he was gone for that long. I mean, it was a whole different situation in the book, too. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to figure out... Because they say that Mrs. Fitz is the one who sent Claire's trunk from Leoch.
So they knew they were going to Lallybroch. Leoch did. The people at Leoch, or at least Mrs. knew that they'd be at Lallybroch. So don't know how that.
I keep wondering if maybe Murtaugh went back to. He went back at some point because when he showed up, he had Claire's medicine box.
Right, he has her medicine box. So.
He made the thing that I brought the rest of your medicines.
Right. So he was back to Leoch, and that might have been where he found out they went to Lallybroch.
So yeah, I just can't remember where. I will have to go back and watch because I'm trying to figure out when he disappeared.
On the screen,
when he went off screen and when we.
Yeah, so we don't
suddenly appearing out of nowhere.
Maybe they'll explain it this season. Where did Murtaugh come from?
Because they were very much to let us know that he's on that damn boat with them at the end.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, Murtaugh appears out of nowhere,
Yeah.
you know, with all the information about the fact that Jamie's been, you know, he was taken by the British, and now he's escaped from the British, and he's out on the road by himself, and now they've got this plan to try and bring him to them. They're not looking for him; they're letting him look.
And so Murtaugh decides to make a scene by having Claire fix people and tell
fortune. Yeah, and he's going to dance.
And he's doing the sword dance.
Which I can't decide if I liked this whole thing where because they kind of took away his dignity.
But he never felt that way. He was always like sure that he was doing it right, and everybody else were just, you know, buffoons. They didn't understand, and they don't have any sense because they don't see it, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was funny, but for him, no. He felt he was quite in the right and doing the right way. And really it was funny because I thought what I laughed about it was the whole thing where once they've established the song and they've got like a playbill up with her, the Sassenach, and then they cut to that scene where they show that playbill. And I think, now, where did they get that printed out in the middle of no freaking where? But
yeah.
It was funny. It was just, I don't know. That's why I liked it, because I just thought it was hysterical that it was. and it kind of showed, I guess, kind of ties into when they were listening to the bard singing at Leoch, and how important entertainment and songs and dancing and all that is to the people of the Highlands. I think that's what they were trying to show too, is that
maybe
that kind of entertainment and social thing was pretty important, you know, that people would show up for it. They'd take time out of their day to show up. You know, I just felt like I was at the Red Fair myself, but
yeah. Well, and then I was gonna say a lot of it was word of mouth. I mean, they would start to become they would have crowds because the crowds were anticipating.
Right. They were expecting them, yeah.
So but yeah, it went on too long for me. This whole particular section was taking so much time. I'm watching the clock going, oh my God, get on with it already.
Yeah, really. Let's get down to what we're going to do.
Because again, I'm thinking in my head, there is so much left after this.
Yeah.
And we only have 2 episodes left after this. And we're wasting this 15, 20 minutes tearing around the frickin' Highlands singing this goddamn song.
One chapter of the book was this whole episode is one chapter of the book. So yeah, they did spend a lot of time, and I get that, but I kind of liked how they utilized the gypsies instead of just making them some random group that they met and then asked them to let them know, and then 2 days or 3 days later, whenever they show up and say, oh yeah, we found somebody. But I liked how they actually incorporated them into part of the entertainment, part of the people that go about and entertain, and how, you know, they saw an opportunity to, oh wow, these guys are making money, you know,
and we can do it so much better.
Yeah, and we
actually have talent.
Yeah, we hired a proper dancer, and the girl singing the Sassenach, I don't think she was English. I think she was Scottish. I mean,
sure.
I don't know. I mean, we never hear her talk, but she just struck me as like she was more Scottish. So, but I thought that was funny. And then the proper dancer actually looks like a dancer you'd see today, just about. Other than the bright colors on the kilt, I'm like, he's wearing the right kind of shoes, you know, because, I mean, although the men would have worn boots, they would have danced barefoot anyway, probably, or in stocking feet. But this guy's got the little brogans, you know, little small shoes, and the proper dancer. So
yeah. Well, I didn't even think about it until I was listening to somebody else's commentary. What did you think about Claire attempting to bribe the gypsies with all of that money?
I think she was naive, that she didn't understand that. Well, and as she learns her lesson, she's trying to treat them. I thought she tried to treat them like they'd be honorable, when the reality is, you know, that's not part of their honor. I mean, that doesn't matter to them. The honor in that respect, you know, they're going to continue to make money and do what they can to survive. So her giving them money was foolish, I think. So
yeah, well, and it was the rent money. Wasn't that the money that Jenny gave her?
Yeah, that was a big chunk of the rent money that Jenny gave her. Yeah. So,
well, and then because again, I was listening to somebody else's commentary. They talked about how Murtaugh was the one who actually said, might as well have thrown that money in a ditch.
Thrown it in the ditch. Yeah, he did say that. So, and she says, I want to believe that they would be honorable. And, you know, she was naive, I think.
Well, yeah, because they brought up the fact, these people I was listening to, they brought the fact that Claire's saying, I want to believe that if a man looks you in the eye, that he's telling you the truth. And they're saying, in what instance has she met that kind of a man in her experience here in Scotland?
True.
Except for Jamie.
True. That's true. I agree.
Seriously, she's living in her own little fantasy world.
Yeah.
And just wasted a ton of money.
Yeah, that they would probably need, because that's kind of why Jenny gave it to him. You may need to bargain for him or something. So
yeah, you might need to bribe your way in or pay off whoever's got him.
Yeah, you may have to pay a ransom or whatever. So
instead, you gave your money to the damn gypsies.
Yeah, and then with no guarantee that they were going to quit, you know.
Yeah.
Even though she explained the situation about the song and it needs to be sung. But see, then ultimately it pays off, even though he tries to get more money out of her. He comes back to her and tells her, if someone came to us with a note for you, you know, because we didn't quit singing your song. So ultimately it worked out because there was twice as much opportunity, and they followed through and gave her the message. So.
Yeah, but when they go to meet the person that sent them the message, and it turns out to be Dougal instead of Jamie.
Yeah, but they don't know.
Dougal is the one who tells them that the gypsy singing that song is what got Jamie caught.
Well, was it the gypsies, or was he caught? Oh, that he saw the gypsies and it wasn't her, so he was leaving or something?
I don't know. He basically, I'm sure there was a thing where he said that it was the song that got him caught.
Well, it was him showing up and then coming down a road, and he probably wouldn't have been caught if someone didn't recognize him, I guess. So I think it was just a circumstance. Because
it's Dougal being Dougal. Dougal is notorious, as you know, as we know from the first episode at Lallybroch, when Jamie finds out that Dougal had been lying to him about Jenny.
Right.
You know, that Dougal does stuff for his own ends.
Right. Dougal has his own agenda. And even in the book, whatever it is, that's how Jamie gets caught, is that It
is. He just happens to go around a bend of a corner and run into a patrol.
Yeah, and someone recognizes him. It's pretty much the same as in the book, as far as he came up upon a British patrol and one of the soldiers recognized him. Yeah.
Although, because of the fact that he was a 6'5" redheaded.
Yeah, I mean,
and he was pretty recognizable.
She's describing him
from a description.
I thought that was funny too when she's describing him to some of these women. She's telling their fortunes. Like, oh, is he going to show up and take me away?
Yeah, strapping, tall, red-haired lad.
Was that who's going to take me away?
And then I love the woman who was like, no, the only man I've seen is my husband, and he's short, fat, and lazy.
Yeah.
And then she finds out that you're going to have a long, happy life, but your husband won't, and she was thrilled. I did love that.
That was funny. I guess it gives you an idea of how rough the life was back then. In those areas.
Anyway, we're having the confrontation with Dougal.
Right.
Who's in this cave?
It's weird, isn't it? Because it looks like it's got structure, like architecture inside.
Well, and someone was saying that it may be storage caves underneath an estate area.
Yeah,
because you would use the natural stuff, the natural lay, if you needed to have. It looks like and Claire's right, it looks like a smuggler's cave.
Yeah.
You know, because the opening is in the side of a hill, and you have to go up, and it's kind of behind a cleft, and But it definitely looks like it has structure and rooms, and like there's some man-made stuff in there as far as creating some of that stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah,
but that was all these supplies. What the hell are all these supplies that are supposedly for the revolution? But
it would feed the army if it's food, or it could be ammunition, or it could be who knows what.
Except they have nothing.
Well, but he's planning to be prepared for when they do need to. I mean, I kind of didn't. It didn't bother me, I guess, because his intention is that eventually they're going to rise up and they're going to take the crown.
Oh, I know. I'm just thinking to myself later on when we find out what their actual armaments are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
A thousand swords.
Yeah, but the thing is that, you know, he knows that right now they have 0. So you might as well try and build something, I would think.
Yeah.
Even though
So anyway, we get the conversation between Claire and Dougal, and for the first time we hear that Lallybroch is important.
Right. That he's interested in getting control of it, yeah.
Of Lallybroch. That's they don't say why it's important because he calls it a poor estate.
Yeah.
But for the first time, because it was a major contributing factor to the whole reason Dougal married Jamie to Claire, because I'm sure he was thinking that, Jamie's not going to survive in the book. Jamie's not going to survive all this, and then Claire's going to be out there. She's going to inherit Lallybroch, and then I can maybe have control of her.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, it was, I actually had forgotten from the first time I watched, because I didn't watch this episode more than once. I'd forgotten that he actually started saying and bringing up Lallybroch, and Claire clicking into the fact that, oh, what you're really after is Lallybroch.
Right. Yes.
So, and there were the comments about Galus, where this was where in the book we actually got the message from Galus about 1968 and all that from Dougal, because she told Dougal. And
yeah, because in the book, by the time this scene happens, it's well past Galus has had the baby, and I mean, yeah.
Claire doesn't know that, though. Is this where she finds out that Galus survived? Isn't that where he tells that Galus they delayed the execution until after she'd had the baby?
Right. So she had at least had the baby, and then she sent that message with Dougal here, and that's where she gets it, the 1968 or 19.
Yeah, the 1968.
Yeah. So that's where this scene would have come in.
Yeah.
At this point. So that kind of was a timeline thing.
Yeah, and then bringing in, the whole thing about he won't send his men in, but he won't stop them from going.
Right.
And she agreed to that if they can't save Jamie, that she agreed to marry him.
Right, right.
And then I love the whole thing with her and Murtaugh and Willie and Rupert and Angus.
Right, right.
I love that whole, I love Rupert. I love that character. I love what they have done with Rupert and Angus in the TV show.
Right. I do too. I like both those characters. And I am glad that
I love Willie. I love whatever conglomeration of characters Willie is from the book to the TV show. I love Willie. I mean, he's got that, the earnest, some naivete, but
faithful.
Devoted and faithful to a fault.
Right, to his friends and to his clan. And
and
his chief, he's devoted to Colum.
Yeah,
he's sworn allegiance to Colum, so he's Colum's man. So
and we get the whole, Jamie would come after any one of you.
Right.
And then Willie basically shaming the other two.
Right. Or then he's off to have an adventure that they're going to miss out on. I mean, that's how they put it out. He's going to have all the fun. Oh no, that's not going to happen. Yeah.
Well, that's how they justified.
Right.
Going. What it was the fact that Willie saying, "I'm with you. I will go with you." It was shaming to them that this little runt of a child was willing to risk his life, and they weren't. It made them look more like they were slightly more cowardly.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's what it came out to me. Was that they're just kind of like, well, damn, we can't let the little runt
have all the fun.
show us up. We can't let him show us up. I mean, if we let him go, he's going to get killed because he's not going to be able to do anything, but he's going to end up with the glory of having tried.
Right.
And we're going to look like the cowardly dogs who slunk away with our tails between our legs.
Right. That's true.
So and then we end up with them riding off and coming up. I think they came up on Fort William, didn't they?
Right. Yeah, they see it off in the distance. Big old huge place.
Or Wentworth. It's not Fort William. It's Wentworth.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Fort William is different. Yeah.
Yeah, because this Wentworth is a prison. Fort William was simply,
Fort William is it's a outpost.
Yeah.
It's on one of the locks there, and
because they did talk about the fact that Fort William was meant to keep people out, whereas Wentworth was meant to keep people in.
Ah, yes. Okay. Okay.
So,
So there we go.
Yep. We got through it in probably an hour and 15. We got 3 episodes in like an hour and 15.
That's pretty good.
And I'm proud of us.
Yeah, that was good.
So.
Oh, 2 more.
So,
the worst
yep.
ones, saddest ones are next week.
Yeah, but we got through my least favorite.
Yeah.
Of all of them, because as hard as the next 2 episodes are to watch, I don't hate them because of the content. There are some people who hate the last 2 episodes because of the content.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're hard to watch, but no, it's some excellent work, some excellent writing. I think they adapted it well, but we'll get into the next week, I guess.
Yeah, and to me, it's like there are certain movies that I've seen that I am so very glad I saw.
Yeah.
But that ripped my heart out. Schindler's List is the thing that comes to mind.
Thank you. I was going to say the same one. I don't think I've watched it since. I probably should watch it one more time because it's been years.
Yeah, I think I've actually seen it twice because I went and saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And sobbed. I absolutely ugly cried, sobbed.
Heart-wrenching. It was a terrible film, and I can't hardly remember most of it. But I think what I still remember is the very end where all the survivors, the real survivors, were leaving the stones. And I thought, oh my God, I never want to watch this film again. Yeah. But I should watch it again because I don't really remember it.
Scene and the scene with the little girl running through the ghetto in the red dress and the red coat.
The red coat. And that's the only color in the scene.
Yeah, and then showing her on the pile
of
bodies with the red coat.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the 2 things that...
Yeah, terrible. And I love Liam Neeson now, so I should probably make a point of watching it again someday.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I went and saw it in the theater, and then I'm trying to remember, did it come out when I was still in high school? Because I thought they showed it, we did a whole...
In the 80s, I think, came out in the 80s.
Yeah, we did, my school did a whole, almost school-wide education on the Holocaust.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the English classes had stuff, the drama classes had stuff, the history classes had stuff, all at the same time.
I wonder what drove that? Was there some kind of anniversary, or was it some...
I don't know, because I think we actually had a Holocaust survivor come in and talk to us.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Just I'm looking up to see when it came out.
I went to, it's been years and years. We have a Museum of Tolerance here, I guess.
Yeah, I went and saw it when I was living there.
And they used to have, I don't know if they still have them, but they used to have the survivors come in and talk on Thursdays. And I did stick around for one, and it was very hard to listen to it. But
no, it says 1993. I was way out of school by then.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I was an adult, but I'm a tiny bit older than you, so.
What did we watch? I swear to God, I remember the fact that they showed it.
I wonder what it was. College? No, not a college. No. Wasn't The English Patient? That's probably so that's probably the same era, though, as far as when the film came out.
I remembered when they showed Schindler's List on television, and they showed it uncut and unedited.
There must have been something going on with him because he set up that Shoah Foundation. Maybe it was something in regards to that. Because I know when I went to that Museum of Tolerance that it had been out for a long time.
Yeah.
He mentioned where his name is on the wall of people that have helped, So.
Yeah. So anyway, because that's on my list if I get to go when I'm in DC this time. I still haven't been to the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah, that one's a hard one to get into, I guess, because it has like a waiting time. You have to get your tickets in the morning and
So anyway, we'll see what kind of time we have. So anyway, well, we got through it all. Next week we will be doing Wentworth and To Ransom a Man's Soul, and if we can get through them and still have any kind of energy left, we can talk a little bit about the new season. Okay.
I haven't watched too much on that, so I see that the ads are coming out. And I watched that. Somebody linked it. Did Outlander link it? It was like I'm trying to think of where I saw it. It may have been somebody on Previously TV. They linked some lengthy thing of them in France. Different cuts. Because there's a conversation. Anyway, that's the most I've seen other than just...
There's like a 2-minute trailer.
Yeah, and there's conversation. I mean, it's not just pictures. It's not just scenes. It's them talking. She's talking to Louise, and
then there's the scene with her talking to Murtaugh, and we realize Murtaugh knows about Claire.
I've seen that one. So
oh yeah.
see, that's what I mean. I haven't really caught up on a lot of the previews. I'm not a good fan.
Yeah, well, and some people don't. Some people don't want to be spoiled at all before they start seeing it.
I just don't have the energy to chase stuff down anymore. If I see links to stuff, I'll click on them. I've seen the interviews, a couple interviews. That one in Australia we talked about last week. Yeah. That was cute. And those kind of things are all right. But yeah, I just don't obsess. But we do. There are people, like I said, previously TV, there's a couple people in there that just love to link stuff. We got a couple of devoted linkers. One of them's somebody from the David fandom. I'm not sure what her real name is. I know who she's on Twitter, and I know who she is on there. But other than that, it's still, but they search that stuff out and link it up, so it's there. Yeah,
well, and there was a while that I was getting everything posted in the DCLanders work group, but or the Facebook group, but I just haven't.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll start popping up again. And again, like I said, I think I saw something linked. I think it was at the last EW interview that they did a little question and answer thing, and that was linked from the Outlander, from Star's Outlander, because I follow them on Facebook, so that was there. And I think the other one was Sam, that interview in Australia. I think that was something Diana had linked, because I just happened to show up on my Facebook. Like,
well, and I may have put that in DCLanders.
You probably did.
I can't remember now. I mean, there's several of us who kind of pop stuff in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, well,
all right.
Have a good week. Watch the last 2 episodes at least once.
Yeah.
I know.
We need to watch it anyway, because we got set up for the next one. So. And I guess Starz has it for free right now. If you pop onto their webpage, if you go on,
up until the 10th of April, you can watch the entire first season for free.
For free. So that's good. So that's good to know.
So I mean, I own enough different copies of it that.
Yeah.
Because I've got the big, huge collector's edition Blu-ray set, and then I've got it on iTunes. And I think because I've got the Starz subscription through Amazon Prime, I've got it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Too. So
like I said, I used to have it on my DirecTV, but no, I have it on my computer because that's where I say I've watched it. But
yeah,
no biggie. I also have it on CDs or DVDs. Yeah, it's good. Life is good.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll stop the broadcast and we'll see, the 1 or 2 people who watch this next week.
Oh, you guys. Really?